Hello everyone and welcome in. Today I'm going to help you to turn your ideas, your creative ideas, your inspiring ideas, your healing ideas into income, even if you've never done this sort of thing before. By the time we're done with this little journey of a video, you're going to feel so confident, secure, and sure of yourself. You're going to feel empowered to take that next step and jump all the way in and say yes to your ideas that will turn into a product or service that will help so many people, and you will be making great money while you do it. So just stick with me and we'll begin. Okay, so you probably have had this idea, or more likely than not, you have multiple ideas. You may have too many ideas. Let me know in the comments if you're somebody that has lots of ideas, you have too many ideas. You might even be like me and you have journals filled with ideas. You may have already started playing with some of those ideas. Maybe you even created a few products. Maybe they've gone somewhere. Maybe you've had some traction with them. Just let me know in this idea, product, creative product, or service creation. Let me know where you're at in this process. I am, underneath all of the umbrella of the things that I do, I'm a healing artist. I'm a massage therapist, I'm a yoga teacher, I'm a Reiki master teacher. I'm also an herbalist. And ultimately, with all of those modalities, I'm also, underneath all of them, I'm a creator. I'm somebody that loves to create different projects. I love to put things together and to create environments for healing. That is a service in and of itself. I like to create products that are healthy for people. I've created skincare lines. I've created self-help workbooks to help people stay aligned with their goals. I have journals for sale on Amazon. You can purchase them now. My skincare line, I no longer sell, but you can see it on Etsy. I'll put it in the show notes. But I sold in multiple stores throughout California and the United States. And I've sold at different markets and different marketplaces. All of this has really shown me how to start. So I'm really good at starting projects. I'm really good at taking those ideas, packaging them up, and then selling them to a person that would really like to receive that product, that service, or that experience. And so that's ultimately what we're going to do today. So I really want to prepare and lay some foundational frameworks for this video. And that's really to get into the mindset of the creator. And so oftentimes when we go out to do something new, if this is a new process for you, lots of things might come up. Things like limiting beliefs, things like a sense of not enoughness. There might be this sense like, well, I don't have enough trainings, or I don't have enough certifications, or really I'm not this type of person that does this sort of thing. And we end up holding ourselves back. And so I'm going to just lay the groundwork that all of your ideas are really beautiful. And those ideas that you have that could produce income and a business, or really support your business, really they're there to support other people. And so if you make this product or service, or really your idea, if you really make it about helping someone else, all of these sort of limiting beliefs of why you can't, or you don't have these qualifications or that qualification, they kind of go to the wayside. And this is what I mean. When you have an idea that can be of service to somebody else, they're not sitting there thinking about what your qualifications are. They're looking at the service and saying, wow, that's going to really help me. I'm in this deep struggle, and it looks like this person has the frameworks or all of the components to actually really support me where I'm at today. The next block or limiting belief that you may have is, I've never done this sort of thing before. Who's going to buy my product, my service, my thing? Who's going to believe that this is going to help them? And to that, I'm going to say there are so many positions in your life and people that you have encountered and bought products from where that was their first time ever producing that product. And what you don't know or what you don't see, or maybe you didn't realize, is that to make that product, they had to go through a process of creating that product. And by the time they were at the point of unrolling that product, they had created the pieces within themselves that gave them the authority to deliver that product and service. And so ultimately, what I'm trying to say is that everyone faces a first time in anything. And aren't we happy that we have some of the technologies that we do because somebody did something that nobody else had done, or that they, more specifically, that they had never done, and it created a solution and a ripple effect of positivity in the world around them. Everyone who's ever created anything, the first time that they did that, they had never created it before. Okay, so just rest assured that you have what it takes to deliver on your product and your service. So I'm going to reframe this. So instead of thinking, I've never done this sort of thing before, who's going to buy from me? Why would anybody listen to me? All of that. I understand that that could be part of your inner dialogue, but I also want you to think of the person that you might be helping, or the businesses that you might be helping with your idea, or the populations of people that you could be helping with your idea. Okay, so I want you to think of those people. On the other side of your beautiful idea, your product, your service, you're able to reach so many people that they may not find a solution along another path. You may be, or your product or your service, your idea may be the solution that they need that ultimately transforms their life or changes their life or does something for the better for their life. So try to think about moving forward with your product and your service or your ideas in that framework, because ultimately that's who you're creating for. Your product or service is going to provide that support that transforms one person, a group of people, a collective, and ultimately be a force for change for good in the world. Something that I didn't know when I created my beauty care line, I created these beautiful products that were herbal infusions, that were organic, they were loaded with nutrients, and they supported aging and drying skin. Ultimately, I created this beautiful product, and it did sell, and I sold in many different stores across California, and I've sold across the United States. And in the innocence of my creativity, what I realized was that anytime I would face a roadblock in my business, I thought that all I needed to do to overcome that roadblock was to create another product. And in fact, creating another product actually was not the solution. The solution was to simplify, and I didn't know that. And I created more complexity by actually creating more. And so in the method I'm speaking of today, and something that I have discovered to even break it down more simply, is that to just start, to simply start, you need one idea. That one idea can be used to support people. And that's your audience. That is your niche of people. Those are the people that you serve. Okay. And what the product is effectively the solution to what that group of people are going through. And that's how you make money, and that's how you generate income. Or when you think about your idea, think about all the different ways that you could potentially package that idea. Could it be a product? Could it be a service? Could it be a digital download? Could it be a book? Could it be a retreat? Could it be a festival? Could it be a package, like I'm thinking of like a travel package experience, effectively that all of those ideas are a product. So I'm just going to talk about a couple ways in my own life to get some of those ideas going for you that I have used in my own practice to help support the well-being of the people that I'm trying to serve. And so, for instance, in my massage practice, I have used all sorts of skills in various modalities and have settled on a group of skill sets that help with digestive issues, fertility issues, and then basically pelvic floor health for women who are either trying to get pregnant, who are pregnant, or who are postpartum. And I've created through that modality that I know that I have learned through massage, I have supported them in having balance in all of those areas of their life. And I'm able to deliver on that through the modality that I know. I've created an experience takes them through a detoxification process using essential oils, using cups, using the hot stones, using the modality of massage that is specific for the abdomen and for the uterus and reproductive organs and pelvic alignment to help support them in this specific area and time of their life for them to have balance and potentially get pregnant or to be to be more comfortable during their pregnancy or also postpartum. And so you can see that you could just give somebody a massage, or you can create a package with various tools that you have that create an experience or an outcome for a person. In this case, my person is women who are in their fertility, pregnancy, and postpartum. So it's basically through their journey of motherhood. I support women in that journey. And so I have different skill sets that can accommodate for that. And then I have an offering on my menu where they can select and receive this particular offering that can help them. And so that's what I'm talking about, is that you can use pieces of different modalities. You can use different skill sets and create the service or create the product or create the journey, the environment for whatever it is that you're trying to help someone with. So I'm going to turn it back on you now. What is your idea? And if you'd like, I'd really love to hear from you. I'd really love to know what your creative idea is. And if you don't want to share the nuances of it, maybe just share about who you're helping, because who you're helping is really going to allow that product to really get specific for them. And once you've done that, I'd love to know where you're at in that process. Have you sold some of your products? Have you tried out your services? How is that going? In my journey in all of this, oftentimes I've stumbled my way through. When I created the skincare line, I wasn't intentionally trying to create the skincare line. What I had done was my hands were really chapped and dried, and I wanted to use lotions weren't working, they were making it worse. And I went online and I knew that there was a natural product that could heal my hands. I didn't even know what it was called. And through this process, I learned that there are these things called a salve, and they help heal your chapped and dry skin on your hands. And I went to the store and I bought the said salve. And then when I looked at the ingredients, I was like amazed. I was like, wow, I think I could make this. Because that's kind of how I am. Wow, I think I could make this myself, because I like to create things. I like to get my hands in there. I like to try things out. And that's exactly what I did. I made I bought the salve and I used it, saw that it could work, and then I actually made one myself. And because I didn't really know what I was doing, I made too much. And so I gave that to my friends. And I had one friend come back to me, and she was amazed. She's like, Marisa, and she showed me she had this barely a tiny little sliver of a scar. She's like, this scar, and she told me, was this thick and this long, and now look at it's only this tiny. She's like, if I keep using, she's like, I've been using this for a week. I bet if I use this even just for a few more days, I'm gonna have no remnants of this scar. And it had been really bothering her. She didn't like looking at it. She didn't like seeing it. And it was literally disappearing before her eyes. And I think she handed me a $10 bill. I'm not sure. Interestingly, that exchange really prompted something in me. I was not an herbalist student yet. It actually allowed me, I had been wanting to learn more about herbalism. I was already a massage therapist. So I had a little bit of knowing around different natural products. But once I made that product, it inspired me to learn more. And so I actually went to herbalism school. And then through the process of herbalism school, to graduate, we had to create something. And I decided to create an entire skincare line. And then I gave those products out as a gift to my family for Christmas. And then through that, because my friends and family knew that I was making it, people started asking me to make them products. And they wanted to pay. And then that turned into an actual business. And so what I'm trying to say is that my genuine curiosity, my genuine desire to solve it was actually my own issue. What I didn't know, and the issue that I ended up solving was for somebody else, was this nasty scar that they didn't like. And through the product that I kind of innocently created, it really helps someone. And so sometimes why we get into something, this is kind of like a parallel lane I'd like to elucidate. Sometimes we get into a healing art or a practice and it's to help ourselves. And sometimes the people that we end up serving are not actually like us. They might be suffering with something different. Like for me, it was my chapped, dry hands, but for my friend, it was this scar that she really didn't like. And you never really know exactly how your product will land, but if you have an idea of who you're helping, and if you know how this product is going to help them, then you have this beautiful opportunity to create income from it. And so my whole point in this entire video is to let you know that your one idea, and starting with just one idea and getting really clear with that one idea turns into a product. That product or service or experience, whatever it is, it's still a product. Could be a digital download, could be a course, whatever it is, that one product serves one type of person. And it's that type of person that is going through some sort of problem, or they're trying to receive some sort of healing. They're trying to overcome some trouble or area of their life that they need help with. And sometimes the people that we serve, we have to let them know that we can serve them, and we need to show them that we can serve them. And so sometimes taking your idea and putting it into this package, for instance, with a massage for fertility, for instance, or for postpartum, or for better health in your digestive system. I have one massage that can do all of those things. And when I package that in a specific way, people say yes to it because it really honors where they're at in their life. They want to do something natural for their body. They want to do something healthy. And they see that there's a product or a service or an experience that can help them do that. And so, again, what is that one product? Effectively, what is that one idea that can be turned into a product that can support somebody on their life journey exactly where they're at? And that is your starting point. That is where we begin. That is how you're going to start your business and create income and ultimately create a business and a lifestyle that you want to have. So I'd like to offer you this guide that I created. If you're somebody that has lots of ideas and you're really unsure of where to start with the idea selection, I created a very simple free guide to get you started, just to get some of those ideas out on paper, to select one, and then to start working through all the steps and maybe even some limiting beliefs that you might have, and then ultimately to get you on the trailhead of creation and creating that product, that service, that idea, so that way it can really support not only your life, but help other people in their life as well. All right, beautiful souls, thank you for being here. All of the links, I have different links in the comments below. Please check those out, and I'd love to connect. Thank you, thank you, thank you. See you on the next video. So if you like this video and you still feel like you need a little bit of support or guidance or energy work to support you along this journey of product creation or idea to product creation to income, I actually created a Reiki session specifically for this. It would be right here, and I will see you over there.